leaders, and everything cascades down through the organisation. And if they don't even know what's good and what looks good, and they can't act it out, then you haven't got hope in driving that culture and behaviours, because that's all culture is behaviours, into your business. Very, very telling. The worst scoring industry, or the best scoring industry there is electricity, gas and water. So we have a number of energy companies who use our product, which is cool. A number about to start, and then we have some others, electricity and all the rest of it. And because it's a high-risk environment, they're damn good at doing their health and safety. So that's not surprising for me. And the one that's probably the worst scoring is the wholesale trade. But agri is a high-risk industry. They're sort of sitting in the middle of the table there somewhere. That's not to say that people don't get injured and fatalities in farms and so forth, but it's quite interesting when you look at the array of industries there and where they're actually sitting. It dispels, in my mind, some of the myths that sit around certain things. That industry's fine. Actually, none of these industries are fine. It may be an office-based environment, but there are still risks associated with it. They may not be physical risks, they may be psychological, mental, whatever it might be. That whole health stuff is coming to the fore without doubt. Some observations. So these observations are based on what our clients tell us, not necessarily what we think, but these are interesting observations as to why we are in the situation that we're in. An observation for me would be there isn't a business that I've spoken to yet who isn't concerned about their health and safety and improving their capability and culture. There isn't one out there that I've spoken to that I'm not interested in. The challenge for them really is around what I think of as time, money and energy. Have they got enough time? Have they got enough money? Have they got enough energy? Is it simple, easy, pragmatic? Can we do this easily for our business? That's the challenge. And that was the challenge we set for us at Safe365, which was create a product that made it so simple for a business that there is no excuse. And hopefully that's what we've done. I think the number of businesses that you saw who are using our product now is phenomenal. The challenge, I think, is to continuously improve and make those things even better and smarter and faster. The other challenge that we see in the marketplace is maturity. There's a real challenge. We've got our lowest scoring business, you can see there is 7%, and our highest I think it's actually 90 from memory. So you've got a real diversity of maturity in the marketplace around businesses, from being really good to actually being really poor. And as you saw before, 70% of the businesses that use our product are scoring below 60%, which is what good is. So there's a real dichotomy. And I think that's a real challenge. I think the significance of that is grabbing the exemplar organisations, those guys who actually do it really good, and hold them up and use them as your leaders for everyone else to follow. So this year we created a thing called the Safest Place to Work Awards, which is on the 15th of November. We've got some really cool organisations in the finalists for that this year. And the reason that we set it up was to recognise organisations who are really good at their health and safety. And as a result of those awards in November, we're going to do video cases on each of them, case studies, and we're going to share them with everyone. So they can actually see what good looks like. If it's XYZ company and they've won the Safest Place to Work, SME or me or Enterprise, then we're going to do a case study with videos, talking to them about what they have done specifically to actually be good at this. So this isn't sort of, an award where you write what I did in the holidays type stuff. This is actually based on Safe365. So this is tangible data. We can see it. We can see who is good and what they've been doing, what makes them good. But then we're going to run some videos that we can actually have them there so you guys can have a look at and go, that's what this organisation has done to make them the safest place to work in New Zealand. And I think if we keep doing that, then other people can look and say, that's what good looks like. Instead of trying to guess what good looks like, The other thing, I touched on this before, I think there's varying capability in the marketplace around health and safety. I think it's improving, it's dramatically improving. I think the work that HASANS and NZHSP, and the reason we've partnered with them, is their philosophy is about building people capability. So people like yourselves, who are out there doing hard yards every single day, what those organisations are trying to do is to help you lift your capability over time. So I think that's really cool. I think that's a really smart, innovative thing to do. If we can build capability in everyone, then that transfers into businesses and health and safety capability generally. So take every opportunity like today and others to actually do that, and link in with Philip at HASANS or Selena at NZHSP and get the information you need from them. If you are members of those type of organisations, they're there to provide you with a service to build your capability. If you build your capability, you transfer that into businesses, they build their capability, and our health and safety record improves as a result. One of the things that I suppose has become very obvious to us, particularly for SME and me, there's a lot of products in the market at the moment that are what we call enterprise products. The other thing that we're seeing out there is this thing called overlapping PCBU responsibility. So we've got a number of our clients now who are using Safe365 in their supply chain. And the reason they're using us in their supply chain is because they need something that adds value to the contractor, gives them something of value. If they have to go through a sort of a contractor management type system, then rather than just pushing it onto a contractor and forcing them to use something of which they extract absolutely no value from, then that doesn't build capability. So if you think of a lot of our clients, a number of them are getting together on the 15th of November, 5 or 6 of them said, can you facilitate a conversation around how we do this stuff better? So the real thin end of the wedge for us is the bit you can see is quite obvious. It's your immediate contractors. It's the contractors that sit below that. So for example, this piece here, I think about this as the supply chain. Everyone can see the first level of contractors, but the unknown, I call this Pandora's box. This is what everyone's talking about in the marketplace, but no one knows how to deal with this. So for example, we have Wellington Electricity is one of our clients. They got one of their contractors, their first line of sight to use our product, who then got Civitek to use, which is one of our clients, to use it, who then got one of their contractors to use it. So with our product, you can see right down through the supply chain to tiers 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the challenge with this, when you're thinking about building capability in the contractor supply chain, is that if you can't see your contractors and what they're doing in terms of their health and safety, but you are the PCBU, you've got shared overlapping responsibility for what happens in the supply chain. So the challenge becomes one of, how do you know? And so part of, I think, one of the biggest problems or challenges facing the market at the moment is being able to look down and seeing what a contractor at Tier 5 in the organisation is doing. They might walk onto a site in a totally different uniform from a different company, but they're not actually an employee of that company. Think about that from a risk point of view, the challenge that you've got. So on the 15th of November, several of our, it's got bigger than being here really, 3 or 4 businesses said, can you facilitate this conversation? We need to sort this once and for all. Since then, that's grown to, I think it's about 27 organisations: Genesis, Contact Energy, Sky City, Auckland Council, ADHB, Hawke's Bay District Health Board, on it goes. Cook Brothers, I think you're going to come along as well. And I met with Ravens down this morning, and Karen said, I've got to go. I've got to go. This is one of my biggest issues, is trying to sort out the contractor supply chain. Visibility on what they're doing, because the things that we're using at the moment simply does not address that issue for us. And if you look at some of the case law that's coming through now, it's all about PCBU, principal versus the contractor who may be tier 2, 3, or 4 down through the organisation. So this is one of the biggest challenges that we see happening out there at the moment. The other thing that we can do with our product, which is really cool, is we can actually track where you sit on the maturity curve. And so a number of our clients are either using it with their contractors or their business units in an organisation. And so you can use it across your organisation and you actually see where it sits in terms of your traditional maturity curve. But also that line that runs through there, that's actually our data, our benchmark data, that's actual organisation. So you can actually see, so people who love this stuff at boards, they love to see where each of the business units or the contractors sit relative to each other and then relative to the marketplace. And I think this opens up a new vision for particularly boards and owners of businesses to actually have the visibility to see where each of their business units sits relative to each other or where their contractors sit. And that opens up their eyes about what they need to do. So this all of a sudden becomes a productivity resourcing tool as well. So if you're thinking of a bigger organisation, for argument's sake, with 5 or 10 health and safety people sitting there, what you really want them to be doing is focusing on those business units that need the most help. Because if you focus on them, you lift capability. The challenge is the ability to understand which ones to focus on first. So if you think about it from a resourcing productivity point of view, if you can see quite clearly where your weaker performing business units or contractors are, then you can actually do something about it by helping them lift their capability, which allows you then to target your resources on the right businesses or business units at the right time to build the right capability. I think this has been one of the challenges for a lot of businesses is, oh, we need to go and do something over here, over here, over here, but it's been quite unstructured and lacks transparency. So what this has done is created the transparency to allow you to have that insight into where your business units and contractors are, which then allows you to focus your time, money and energy on the right businesses and business units to lift capability, as opposed to being scattergun, just running off doing things all over the place. You can actually be quite focused and then you can actually measure your improvement over time. So as that, showing the safety index, started out at 47, it gets to 49, it gets to 52 and 57, you can actually track that business unit or business's improvement in health and safety capability over time. So that's your ROI. That's your ability to go back to your board directors and say, we've worked out where all our business units and our contractors are at. Here's our good ones, here are not so good ones, and this is what we're going to do. So, for example, one of the energy companies, we helped with their health and safety strategy, and the CEO and the board said, that is gold, because we now know what we need to focus on, and they dropped it into their health and safety strategy. Time, money, energy, resources on these things, and we're going to move them up that maturity curve, and we're going to move them across relative to the marketplace. We can measure it, we can see it, we can see what they've done and how they're improving, and the money that we spend in health and safety, we can now justify by the movement in the health and safety capability of the business unit or business or contractor. Quite clever stuff when you think about it. Questions? I'm getting the nod, so anyone got any questions I'd like to ask? Yeah.
Yeah, it's Kevin Jones from Safety at Work blog. Just you're talking about leadership is being so important as the top down. Do you see leadership on safety as being, mostly at the executive level and trickling down, given that safety culture was talking before about the importance of building a culture from the bottom up. A lot of safety professionals, and I'm one of them, get confused about where's our best attention for improving safety, top down or bottom up, because we're getting told both.
Okay, so the last 25 years, my other business is Matrix One, which works with CEOs and executive teams to build capability and culture and high-performing teams. So I've been doing this for 25 years, and I'd have to say, without doubt, if you haven't got the sponsorship from the very top and leading by example, setting the strategy, the vision of where you're going, and then knowing what they're doing and acting it out, you haven't got a hope in hell of building a really strong culture, an organisational culture. Now, safety culture for me is just organisational culture. The two are hand in hand in my mind. So when you think about it that way, I'm not saying don't invest in your frontline workers and all the rest of it. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying your executive team, your CEO and your board need to be united in what they're doing in terms of their vision for their health and safety and what that looks like, and the way they are going to behave and the values that sit around that. And they need to be prepared to invest their time, money and energy and resources in doing that. If you've got a lot of stuff going on down here, but these guys aren't supporting it and driving it, you haven't got a hope in hell, to be honest. So it's got to start there. That's a key point to start. You can do a whole bunch of safety interventions at different points down through the hierarchy, but you've got to have this. It's no different than building organisational culture, building safety culture. In my mind, they're the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, Malcolm Lowry from Blue Track. So I'm just, your product's new to me, so I'm just trying to get my headspace. There's a piece of the jigsaw that kind of isn't here for me though. So I love all the data and I love all the matrix. I missed what the detail at the start was, but presumably there's a really well researched bunch of activities. But the score, is that related just to my safety activity or is it somehow linked to my safety outcomes?
So it's related to your health and safety culture and capability in a holistic way. So our product is a governance top-down view of your capability. But a mobile app that we're bringing out on the 15th of November, the same day as the Safest Place to Work Awards, is a performance-driven app. So all your staff can do your incidents and hazards and things like that, which feeds back into, so it's a top-down and bottom-up. The challenge that I think is in the marketplace with the products that exist, they all tend to be, 62 of them in New Zealand by the way, all the usual suspects. 62 of them collect data at the bottom and feed it up. And that's really useful and helpful, but actually it's a combination of governance top-down and bottom-up, so it needs to be both together. And when you collect performance data, but it also, you need to collect that performance data, but at the same time you need to have a view on what your capability and culture is. So there are other inputs that go into that. So things like a safety culture survey give you some inputs into how your staff think about health and safety and how your board does. And there are products out there that do that, but it's only one input. So I think about it as multiple inputs. So what our product does is gives you that holistic view of where your business is, but there may be different inputs that go into that. Performance data from mobile phones, culture survey, whatever it might be. And so this wasn't to show you Safe365 because there's a whole bunch of features that sit in the product that do all that for you. I was just showing you the wagon wheel to explain to you the data that I want to share with you and the implications for that.
Mark, we've got time for just one more question over here.
Yeah, well, Mark Collins from Active Health. I'm just interested in what metrics you measure in Safe365 from a health perspective.
In terms of mental health or?
No, just, we all talk about health and safety. I'm interested in knowing what this measures for capability of systems in regards to health.
Yeah, so there's a dimension, and so those 10 modules that we refer all have a whole bunch of associated questions which relate to that. So there is one there around health and safety and well-being. But as I was saying just now, our product doesn't actually capture. Like you go to, like the reason we partner with Southern Cross is they have a well-being product and program that they're about to launch on the 1st of November from memory. And the reason we've partnered with them is that is a performance product that will capture data, and from the output of that, you can then, as a business, look at what you're doing in terms of, say, your well-being. So our product doesn't do. There are products out there that's, I think the best way to think about it is solving a specific problem. What ours does is pull all of that together to give you that holistic top-down governance view that answers your question.
Cool. So I'm afraid we're short on time now, but thank you so much for your time today. So please get us to give it. I'm sure you will agree that the product is a very exciting glimpse into the future of health and safety, I suspect. What Mark alluded to just at the end there is how I see it as well, is it is an incredible tool that we can use that will complement the existing processes and systems that we may already have, and the existing associations and relationships we have with our business partners as well. So it's pretty smart. So